So you might have heard NEO in Seattle. It's happening. NEO North America, NEO Global Development. I'm here with John. John, how's it going?
Very good, man. How are you?
I'm excited to kind of share, and this interview especially, when I heard the news, I was ecstatic because there wasn't a lot of big attention happening in Seattle, despite a lot of the amazing things that are happening in Seattle, and a lot of the talent, developers, enterprises. Seattle is just an amazing platform city, I guess.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, look, Seattle is the platform city. It's also the rainy city, but it's certainly the platform city as well. And we're very happy to be here, as we build out the NEO developer platform.
Awesome. So John, I guess you want to give a little quick introduction to everybody live on Twitter as well as YouTube and LinkedIn about your background, and give us a little bit more details of the NEO Blockchain Initiative and NEO Global Development too.
Oh, absolutely. We'd love to. Thanks again for the time, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm from India originally. I grew up in East Africa, Tanzania, and then came to do my PhD in machine learning here in the US many years ago. About 16 years at Microsoft. I built up the early .NET framework team. I was working on the architecture and the strategy. I'm a platform guy. I love platforms. I love building platforms. I love working with platforms, and I love working with developers. Recently built and sold two ML startups.
And machine learning, right?
Machine learning. Yeah, thank you. Yes, machine learning. That's right. Thank you. And that's when really I got very deep into the blockchain space during my startups. And so what we're doing here in Seattle, two things, So Hong Fei talks about making NEO the #1 blockchain platform.
And for those that don't know, Hong Fei is the CEO,
the founder of NEO.
NEO Blockchain.
That's right. Hong Fei is the founder of NEO. So his vision is, let's make NEO the #1 blockchain platform. So what does it mean? If you look at the developers right now, Justin, there's probably over 20 plus million developers across the world.
Yeah.
Building apps, all shapes and sizes, right?
Yep.
If you look at the crypto or even the blockchain space, there's probably about, I would say, 100,000, maybe 200,000 developers in the blockchain space.
Yeah, so it's like a small pool, and it's, you could argue it's maybe shrinking a little bit just because of the bear market, or people start building still right now, but it's still small dots compared to the whole kind of developer space outside of blockchain.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. I mean, I think so for us, what we want to do is we want to say, look, there's 20 million people out there who like building apps, who are building apps, and we want to serve them. We want to make it as easy as possible to build the apps, to build smart contracts in terms of developer tooling. So there's one thing I call the F5 experience. You push the F5 button. It should be as simple as that in terms of building these contracts. Make it as simple. That's the first goal.
Got it. And so with thinking about your guys' goal and expansion, it's also your experience too with building platforms. I guess, what are you seeing as kind of like the next steps, or what are you guys doing to make that easier for developers to build, let's say on NEO, for example?
It's a great question. So I'm a patterns guy. I believe right now we see the emerging D-app patterns. We can see wallets, we can see D-exchanges, we can see gaming apps, we see loyalty apps.
Yeah.
And so for these emerging patterns, what we are working on is building libraries, building the building blocks, if you will. Mm-hmm. And that way, as a developer working on NEO, you have that much less code to write, that much less surface area. And so we help you build the app sooner, faster, be more productive, decrease your time to market, but also more importantly, the less code you write, the less surface area you have, which means in terms of securing your code base, in terms of the performance, in terms of the latency, the scalability, you have that much less work to do as a developer, as opposed to building the kitchen sink and everything all the way.
Yeah, so you're saying, like, if you're like a game developer building a blockchain-based game or financial app or anything out there, that you should just be focusing on building just that, right?
Absolutely.
Trying to build like a wallet or identity and a few different
Absolutely. You got it just exactly, right?
Yeah, because I've seen it so many times where there are projects out there, they're trying to build a game, but then they're going to have to build their own wallet, and that becomes like a whole thing. It's like, do they now take custody of your crypto assets on top of building that. So you're saying that your guys are Neo Global Development, and what your initiatives is to really focus on building these tool sets for
the building blocks.
The building blocks for that. So when people just go focus on building.
That's right. Do what you love, do what you enjoy, do what you want to do.
Got it.
And leave us the plumbing, right? We will open source on GitHub. We'll give you the blocks, the libraries, the frameworks for gaming, for enterprise apps. And in doing so, we hope to make it so much simpler and also so much more enjoyable, more fun for you as a developer.
Yeah.
Right? Ignore all the plumbing stuff below you.
Got it. Makes sense. And so like this year especially, and moving on to years beyond, I think the biggest focus seeing like Neo blockchain and other platforms is all about development and actually getting people to build more in the space, because right now we can argue that dApps we're still so early in the game right now. And from my personal experience too, is just seeing we still need to get through that convincing the more bigger enterprises and developers to get on board, and the only way to do that is to lower the friction, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also in terms of building key partnerships, there's a reason we picked Seattle.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. It's like why Seattle?
There's a reason we picked Seattle, right? Because Seattle is where all the big platform companies are. Microsoft, AWS, Oracle Cloud, Google. All the big platform players are here. And our goal is to build key partnerships. Make it easier. If you're a developer on the Microsoft ecosystem, great. If you're a developer on the Google ecosystem, great. We want to make it as simple, as easy for you. It should be, building on Neo should be a joy. And that's kind of how I measure my own, goals over the next, 12, 18 months. How much are we doing? What are we doing to make it, really fun, right? And not worry about all the, like I said, the plumbing and, the things to do over and over again. We will take care of it for you.
Makes
on
sense.
The tooling side, so my goal is to build add-ons, for tools like VS Code. And once again, that way, we take the heavy lifting out from your time as a dApp developer.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Coming from Azure, coming from Amazon Web Services, or the Google Cloud, we will give you the add-ons, and you can then choose and decide. And that way, something that might take you, X amount of time previously, I'm hoping that you can do it in about 20% of the time subsequently.
Got it.
Now, more particularly from a US perspective, our goal is, again, of this 20+ million developers worldwide, how many of this group can we serve? Can we provide the tooling? Can we provide the frameworks? And how many, I want to see 1,000 flowers bloom, right? We want to see all these developers from consumer side, gaming obviously for sure, but also enterprise side. In terms of retail, in terms of pharmaceuticals, healthcare, supply chain, we're seeing tremendous interest. And now we want to go serve. We want to make their job as simple as easy, so we can provide the tools for them.
That's for those that are just watching too, and not thinking about Seattle. Seattle's been a very, I was born and raised here, but it's great to see the development in terms of focus in the blockchain technology side of things, especially from both development and enterprises in this city. I think a lot of people overlooked it, especially last year and the years beyond that, just because everyone was in the crypto and ICO phase. Right. But when we're heads down building, Seattle is just historically, we have, we're literally right in Microsoft town right here, and you came from Microsoft too.
That's right.
And then also too, the Neo office is in Redmond, right across from Microsoft.
Right next door.
Right next door. So they're gonna have the Neo green neon.
We're painting it right now.
Right now, yes, yeah, looking forward. I think we'll have to do a crypto cribs edition of visiting the office.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So,
let's do it.
Yeah, thanks again for taking time to kind of explain what's happening on the Neo Global Development side, and also congrats for both bringing into more attention for blockchain tech in Seattle. I'm always a big fan of the city here, but also to moving forward in North America too. And it's always great to learn more about what's happening in different protocols, despite whatever the market, the price, ignoring crypto, understanding what's happening behind the technology, and actually talking to people like John who are actually building in the space. Awesome. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you guys around.
Thank you.